First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Good morning to you and welcome into Fox 10 Midday. It's finally Friday. We've made it to the weekend, March 27th as well. I'm Ashley Mitchell.
And I'm meteorologist Hannah Fink.
Hannah, we have a lot going on all across the Port City this weekend. We're excited for the Downtown Cajun Cook-Off. We have the boat show happening at the Battleship. And good news, the weather is going to play a big role.
It is, and we're not tracking any rain to ruin any of your weekend fun, although the dryness is not going to give us really much of a favor. We'll get into that in just a minute, but here's a look at the boat show on the bay just from the Battleship camera. 74 degrees right now and plenty of sunshine out there as people are preparing for a very busy weekend. Temperatures right now definitely on the warmer end. We're already in the mid 70s across the area. We're only at 11 a.m. 75 right now in Mobile, 72 in Pensacola, 68 in Crestview, 71 in Monroeville, 73 in Chatham, and 74 over in Lucedale. In our almanac for today is going to be very warm. It's been warm, but today's going to be the warmest day. Mid 80s is what we're expecting for a forecast high, which is about 10 to 12 degrees above normal. Even our morning low was about 10 degrees above normal. Luckily, nowhere near that record of 91 degrees, which is set in 1910, but definitely going to be breaking some records in some locations. But over the next 10 hours, temperatures are going to continue to climb. We'll be in the upper 70s by 2 p.m., then into the 80-degree range, maybe even the mid 80s starting later on this afternoon into the early evening hours. We'll be in the 70s for a good portion of the evening as well. Well, here's a look at our forecast highs today. 86 for a high in Mobile, 85 in Chatham, 84 in Monroeville, 84 in Lynxville, and 83 over in Pensacola. And our temperature outlook going into the week of April 2nd. Warmer than average conditions is what we're expecting. So warm days are ahead. We do have an adjustment this weekend thanks to a front moving through later this afternoon. Now you'll probably hear a front, but we're not expecting much rain with it. Maybe a lingering shower or two, so we do have a 10% chance for rain today, but it will adjust our temperatures by about 10 to 15 degrees going into this weekend. So we'll be right around where we're supposed to be for Saturday and Sunday, then back into that 80-degree temperature range going into next week. Dew points right now, they're a little bit more on that humid side, some of us getting into that more muggy category, but this will actually start to go down once that front starts to approach our area. So our muggy meter today, it's a little muggy to start the day, but dry conditions are coming through. I'll be breaking down the rest of your forecast for your Friday as well as your weekend forecast coming up.
Thank you, Hannah. Continuing coverage today on a disturbing case in Mobile. A 73-year-old man now charged with enticing a child to enter after officials say he exposed himself and attempted to lure a child into his own apartment. Larry Beard on your screen here was arrested at the scene. Police say it happened Wednesday at Dauphin Gate Apartments on Dauphin Street. Investigators tell us a child victim and witness reported what Beard had allegedly done. The witness says some of the children nearby actually captured video of Beard exposing himself to other children and believes that footage was turned over to police. He says Dauphin Gate Apartments are full of families with young children, and he has a warning for parents after this troubling incident.
Everybody has kids around here. We're going to have to take care of each other's children out here. Please, everybody, watch out for your children. Pay attention to where they at and pay attention to their surroundings.
Beard is still being held in Mobile County Metro Jail as of this morning and is scheduled for a bond hearing today. We'll pass along those updates to you. And a warning today after a Mobile man was arrested again. Police say Larry Beard exposed himself and tried to lure children into his apartment. Morning anchor Sarah Wall is taking a look at these charges, what witnesses say happened, and what officials say we can do to keep our children safe. In Depth with Sarah Wall child enticement case is available right now on the Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app. And we have an update on a story we've been following extensively here on Fox 10. The Mobile County Sheriff's Office now confirming the bodies found in the Chalk family investigation are a positive DNA match to the family. Their next of kin has officially been notified. Investigators found the bodies of the family in a wooded area off Downing Road east of Summerdale. And deputies say the suspect, Hector Argueta Guerra, has ties to a nearby home, and that tipped investigators off to search near it. Court documents also reveal all three victims were killed with a sharp-edged weapon. The district attorney says the state will seek the death penalty. Argueta Guerra's next court appearance, a preliminary hearing, is set for April 6th. His attorney tells us they plan to plead not guilty to all charges. And police are still investigating this morning after a man walked into a New Horizons credit union with gunshot wounds. Investigators say the man told police he shot himself twice and now he's fighting for his life. Police roped off the entrance to the credit union and a house on Hillview Road, but it's not confirmed if the man shot himself at that home. Police say the man had the gun inside the credit union but did not brandish it. Neighbors telling us they heard gunshot wounds and emergency sirens. No one else was hurt, but Officer Roderick Miles says it was a scary moment for both customers and employees.
Especially since it's relatively close to lunchtime or right after the lunchtime hour, so there probably was a lot of hesitation amongst the employees and the customers that utilized this franchise.
Police are still trying to piece together exactly what happened, and if you know anything, they ask you to give them a call. Well, there's new hope that the long wait times in airport security lines could soon be coming to an end. The Senate voted early today to fund most of the Department of Homeland Security, with a few notable exceptions. The legislation now rests with the House. Fox's Rebecca Castor has the latest now from Washington.
The bill's amended is passed.
In a rare early morning session, the Senate unanimously passed funding for most of the Department of Homeland Security, getting tens of thousands of employees closer to getting their first paycheck in more than a month. Senators ultimately agreed to fund agencies like TSA, FEMA, the Coast Guard, the nation's cybersecurity agency, and other parts of DHS, but did not include any money for immigration enforcement.
Senate Democrats were clear. No blank check for a lawless ICE and Border Patrol. We held the line.
ICE has always been funded through the Big Beautiful Bill. Customs and Border Patrol has always been funded from the Big Beautiful Bill. They got nothing.
That includes the immigration guardrails Democrats had been seeking, including no masks for agents, requiring body cams, and stopping raids around sensitive areas like schools and churches.
The White House made offer after offer, putting forward a robust list of additional reforms. And Democrats just kept moving the goalposts.
The legislation now heads to the House, where it will face both procedural and political hurdles as lawmakers try to pass it before the spring recess.
This is what we do every time. They jam you up against the vacation, Christmas, now it's Easter, and then they expect you to pass a bunch of garbage. I just want to make sure I know what's in it.
No matter what happens in the House, President Trump is paying TSA workers using emergency funds from the One Big Beautiful Bill, the same thing he did to pay the military during the last shutdown. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Meanwhile, President Trump trying a dual track to end the conflict with Iran 24 days into Operation Epic Fury. On Thursday, the president said negotiations are going well, and he extended his deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranians, though, tell a different story, saying there have been no talks and they're still considering the president's 15-point plan.
And they'll tell you, we're not negotiating. We will not negotiate. Of course they're negotiating. They've been obliterated. Who wouldn't negotiate?
But just a day later, officials in Israel threatened to, quote, escalate and expand their attacks on regime targets. And the Pentagon is now reportedly preparing to deploy 10,000 more service members to the Middle East, though it's not clear at this point what their role would be. President Trump says Iran must reopen the Strait of Hormuz by April 6th. Well, Vice President J.D. Vance is holding the first meeting of the new White House task force to eliminate fraud. The White House is aiming again to eliminate fraud within federal spending and hopes to reduce those funds. Vance touted President Trump this morning and pointed blame at previous administrations, accusing them of not taking misused funds in federal government, quote, seriously.
You've never had an administration that has really taken this seriously until the president put us really from day one of the Trump administration who said we have to take the fraud issue seriously. And a lot of the anti-fraud protections that existed in our government for a very long time were actually turned off by the Biden administration.
The inaugural meeting follows an investigation into Minnesota, where some Republican lawmakers claim that fraud was taking place in the state's social services programs. In the meantime, Savannah Guthrie will return to the Today Show following the abduction of her mother. Retired Today anchor Hoda Kotb made the announcement earlier this morning. Kotb has been filling in for Guthrie since she went on leave to focus on the investigation into her missing mother. Nancy Guthrie was reported missing on February 1st, and no suspect has been identified, and she remains missing this morning. In an interview, Savannah Guthrie called the Today Show, quote, a place of joy and lightness. She said that if she comes back to work, she wants her smile on the show to be real, and that her joy there would be, quote, her protest. Viewers will see Savannah Guthrie back on their screens starting Monday, April 6th. 11:09 now on your Friday. There are lots of events happening all across the Gulf Coast this weekend. We have your full preview next. Plus, due to the dry and windy conditions, you might have a hard time getting a burn permit this weekend. What you need to know coming up. Hannah, those dry conditions continue.
Yes, they will, Ashlyn. We'll break that down later on, but here's a look at your catnap forecast. This is Mr. Monkey and River, submitted by Melissa Parnell, and there they are being friends this morning, getting ready for their catnap by this afternoon with very warm conditions, getting into the 80s by 3 p.m. with mostly sunny skies. A beautiful day across the Gulf Coast, but also a warm one. We'll have some weather changes coming up in the forecast that I'll be breaking down after these messages.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday. New advancements are on the horizon for one of Alabama's oldest industries, thanks to an accelerator program. Alabama's $36 billion forestry industry has evolved over the years, but finding solutions to the current problems it faces is essential. That is where the startup accelerator company Generator and Grow Southeast Alabama come in. The Alabama Forestry Accelerator has a cohort of 5 visionaries who have developed products and technologies that will advance the industry. Those innovations range from technology to curb wildfires to repurposing pecan shells.
And I started thinking about how we have so many resources that are wasted. And I wanted to see how we could, rather than putting them in a landfill, use them to design new materials as a feedstock for processes. And so that ultimately led to this startup that I'm doing with Generator, where we're taking pecan shells and rather than having to use plastics and things like that in our cosmetics and our food products, instead we can use naturally derived fibers from pecans.
Creators of the program want to focus on Alabama-based companies, but the accelerator is willing to consider anything that will have an economic impact on our state. And meanwhile, state and local forestry leaders are putting burn restrictions in place starting today, as a red flag warning could be issued this weekend across Alabama. The Alabama Forestry Commission says dry conditions and gusty winds are increasing wildfire danger after 147 wildfires burned more than 5,600 acres statewide in the last week. In Gulf Shores, crews were back at Gulf State Park, where a brush fire that started Tuesday flared up once again. Because of this drought we're seeing, burn permits today will be limited to certified prescribed burn managers. Then tomorrow, no burn permits will be issued. Violations during a red flag warning could mean a misdemeanor charge.
We're looking at another smaller, dry, cold front coming through that's going to push lower humidity levels, higher wind speeds, and with the lower humidity levels, we're looking in the 20% during the day, and then nighttime we're looking around 60 to 70%. And when we're seeing 60 to 70% at night, we're not seeing dew on the ground, and we're not seeing those fires extinguished at night.
Foresters say they'll reevaluate after the weekend, and burn permits could resume Sunday. But officials urge people to contact their local forestry office before burning to make sure it's okay.
Some great advice there, but taking a live look outside at Pensacola Beach, people are starting to arrive to enjoy their beach day. A nice sunny day out there, not a single cloud in the sky, and I don't blame them. It's going to be a very hot day today. As you can see on our big 3 headlines, a hot and humid day is expected today. Probably the most hot day we've seen in quite some time, even though we've been in the 80s. Then we're transitioning into different weather conditions this weekend. Gusty winds and dry conditions expected for Saturday, which will not help our fire weather weather, and then that drought will continue on, but we will see some changes going into later next week. But let's look at our forecast highs today. A lot of us are going to be in the mid 80s, nearly 10 to 12 degrees above average. Usually we're near 74 degrees this time of year. Well, you can see that nobody is close to that. 85 in Mobile for a high, and then 86 in Chatham, 84 in Monroeville, 82 in Milton, 83 in Pensacola, and 85 over in Lucedale. For our afternoon planner, temperatures are going to continue to go up. We'll be in the 80s by the middle parts of this afternoon, mid 80s into the early evening hours. Partly cloudy skies overall, but we'll have mainly sunny skies by the time we get into this afternoon. Now, we do have a front passing through. Well, it is going to bring us some cooler and drier conditions, but it could bring a lingering rain chance. So we could see a pop-up shower here or there throughout the overnight hours thanks to this front moving through. It is a cold front, so we do have about a 10% chance for some showers into the overnight hours, but most of us will be staying dry. So this is not really going to help us out all that much with our drought monitor, but for our evening planner, is going to be staying warm. We're going to be in the upper 70s by 5 o'clock, staying in the 70s until about 9 p.m. when we are near 71 degrees. Now tonight we could see some patchy dense fog near the coastline, but really not concerned with that because the winds are going to pick up because of that front I just mentioned. So we'll have northwest winds around 15 miles per hour, so it will be breezy. We have the 10% chance for a lingering shower because of that front, but a mostly clear night overall in 56 degrees. Now our beach forecast looking great today. Tomorrow, might need to be a little cautious, but we do have a low risk of rip currents today. Tomorrow, we have a low risk, but I would not be surprised if some beaches go to a moderate risk just because of how we're switching over with our winds. Because then on Sunday, we transition into a high risk of rip currents. So you're going to want to avoid the water then. But if you're going outdoors, you're going to want to make sure you have that sunscreen on hand. A very high UV for tomorrow and today. Burn time about 20 to 30 minutes. So make sure you apply sunscreen quite often just because burn time is the highest around 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. But for our weekend forecast, cool mornings, definitely an adjustment in our temperatures right where we're supposed to be. It's going to be cooler and drier, breezy conditions for our Saturday, which is why we do have a fire weather watch in place for the entire Foxton viewing area. We have seen fire conditions. We just talked about the Gulf State Park fire that reignited yesterday. And because of the conditions we're going to see this weekend, it's actually going to heighten the chance of that. So critical fire weather conditions are forecasted to occur. Could have a red flag warning being issued, but we're already seeing it in northern Alabama. So what is the difference? We're going to have that fire weather watch, so it just means be prepared. Critical fire weather conditions are possible, but we could see a red flag warning means to take action. Critical fire weather conditions are happening or about to happen. We could see that on our day on Saturday. But our forecast dew points, this is why we're seeing it. Very dry, and then on top of that, we're going to have breezy conditions as well. Wind speeds between 25 to 30 miles per hour during the day on Saturday, then possibly 15 to 20 miles per hour during the evening hours on our Saturday. So it's not going to help us out all that much with our drought-like conditions. A good portion of us are in that extreme to severe category, especially in our northeastern counties. Overall, it's going to stay dry. Keep watering those plants, but luckily our rainfall outlook from the Climate Prediction Center is highlighting the potential for some rain in the middle parts of next week. We have a few systems moving on through. Nothing severe is expected, but it will help us out as we could see some scattered showers in the later parts of next week. But for now, we're going to see an adjustment. Breezy conditions on Saturday, especially for the Cajun cook-off. Beautiful weather overall. Then we're getting back into the 80s by the middle part of next week. Make sure you do not burn anything this weekend, especially with these breezy and dry conditions.
Yeah, good reminder there, Hannah. Thank you. Hannah did just mention the gorgeous weather we're expecting this weekend. If you're still looking for some plans for you and your family, the 6th annual Boat Show on the Bay is happening this weekend at Battleship Memorial Park. This year's show features around 200 boats, plus electronics, apparel, motors, and anything else you could possibly need to help you get on the water. Dustin Jackson started the boat show after other indoor shows closed during the COVID-19 pandemic, and he says it's grown every year since then. Jackson says there's truly something for everyone, and the biggest day of the show will be tomorrow.
We have a massive professional cornhole tournament, so if you're interested in just being a part of that or seeing that, come out here Saturday morning. The princesses and the superheroes usually get around here around noon, and then our foam party is going to be at 2 o'clock for the kids.
Sounds like an exciting day. The boat show opens at noon today and runs through Sunday. For more information on hours and ticket prices, visit our website, fox10tv.com. But that's not all. Get your taste buds ready. The 10th annual Downtown Cajun Cook-Off is this weekend in Cathedral Square in downtown Mobile. Fox 10, once again a proud sponsor, will be among more than 20 tents cooking up your favorite spicy dishes, and the smell is incredible. This event is tomorrow from 10 until 2. Please come out, say hello to us, and try some fabulous food. I'll be out there mid-morning and would love to meet you. If you didn't buy your tickets online, don't worry. They'll be $20 at the gate, and all proceeds go directly to the Child Advocacy Center. And the 2026 Major League Baseball season is officially underway, and the Atlanta Braves return to the Diamond tonight. The Braves hoping to get their first win of the season against the Kansas City Royals. And you can watch that big game starting tonight at 6 on MeTV. You can see the specific channel depending on your provider listed there on the screen.
Wind gusts. I'm Katie Byrne in Tipton, Indiana. I'll have that story coming up.
Welcome back into midday this morning. Folks across the Midwest are cleaning up after extreme weather swept across the region. It was partially fueled by a heat wave that scorched the western U.S. earlier this week, and Fox Weather's Katie Byrne has more.
Whoa, 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 hold on a minute. What is that?
Severe storms moving east after whipping up dust clouds across the Midwest on Thursday. The National Weather Service is now working to determine if any of those were possible tornadoes.
The lights went on and off a few times, the doors were shaking, and once that kind of passed, we didn't know if a tornado hit us or what.
Jacob Smith says he had just left work when he received a weather alert to get inside immediately. In parts of the region, wind gusts nearing 65 miles per hour downed trees, while heavy rain flooded roads. Crews were out early this morning assessing the damage.
We're working on just clearing debris off the streets and trees down and cleaning the catch basins.
The conditions also impacted travel in the skies. According to FlightAware, nearly 7,000 flights were delayed and hundreds of others canceled on Thursday.
Gotta spend like another $1,000 more to get to Puerto Rico.
Oh my goodness.
I was trying to get there today, but it's late already. I cannot do anything. It's not in our hands, you know.
Forecasters say the storms were partially fueled by Arctic air meeting record heat out west. Earlier this week, temperatures reached record highs in multiple states.
This heat wave, as we all know, is unprecedented for this early in the year.
As the storm moves out, temperatures across the Midwest and Northeast will drop into the 20s before spring weather returns. In Tipton, Indiana, Katie Byrne, Fox Weather.
11:27 rather on this Friday. Thanks for staying with us here on Fox 10 Midday. Still to come, the Orange Beach invasion is happening this weekend, and our Stephen Moody takes us there. Plus, a new app lets people buy drinks without talking. That story and much more coming up in your business headlines.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday on this Friday, taking a look at your half-hour headlines today. After nearly 2 years of work, Spanish Fort-based Roll-In Construction wrapped things up this month. It was done in several phases, during which time the city kept at least part of its waterfront open to the public. Stormwater drainage, seawalls, and sidewalks were put down as well. Then came new pavers, rose garden, and a new fountain. Finally, the South Beach Park was finished with brand new restrooms, walking trails, and an ADA-compliant switchback from the bayfront to the bluff above. The project was paid for by more than $10 million in Restore Act funding, something to look forward to if you're out there. Well, Gulf Shores continues to make strides towards a safer and more pedestrian-friendly city by expanding sidewalks along West Beach Boulevard. This funding is coming through a Transportation Alternative Program, or TAP grant, where the state picks up 80% of the tab. Gulf Shores has spent a lot of time on the roads and sidewalks along the beachfront over the last decade. Past tragedies involving pedestrians or cyclists and a growing tourist population prompted this revamp, now known as the Waterfront Walking District. The project is in the design phase right now and could start as soon as later this year. Stay with us for updates on the project status. And finally, the city of Mobile is investing $14 million to overhaul one of its busiest corridors. Mobile and the Alabama Department of Transportation are teaming up on a $14 million improvement project along the Dauphin Street corridor, Rhymes Road to Sage Avenue. The The project includes a new smart signal system that will allow traffic lights to communicate with each other to keep traffic moving smoothly. Crews will also upgrade infrastructure with brighter street lighting, road resurfacing, and new curbs and gutters to better handle severe weather. The project has a target completion date within 2 years. Again, be sure to stay with us for updates on all of these ongoing projects. Well, a new survey shows just how much pressure teens are facing online. More high schools are ditching economics courses, and a new app lets you send someone a drink without any social interaction. Fox Business correspondent Madison Allworth has today's Fox Business Briefs.
Parents are calling on lawmakers to hold big tech accountable for putting their kids at risk in reaction to the landmark social media addiction trial. This, as a poll of 2,000 American children aged 11 to 17 found 44% feel peer pressure to be on social media. That's compared to other vices such as smoking, ditching class, drinking, and shoplifting. 56% said they felt left out by friends because they weren't in the same online groups or social media platforms. 39 states now require a personal finance course to graduate high school. 4 have added the mandate since 2024. State education departments are giving priority to the practical over the conceptual. The shift is placing an emphasis on shop classes as blue-collar jobs become more popular and white-collar hiring slows down. And a new app called Dion lets people buy someone a drink without even talking to them. If someone catches a user's eye and they're also on Dion, they can send them a drink through the app, which can be redeemed at hotspots in cities like New York, Miami, and Dubai. The IRL connection begins once your drink is accepted. Drinks can cost users anywhere from $3 for a cup of coffee up to $20 for a cocktail. But get in line. The app boasts its waitlist is 20,000 people long. Good luck. In New York, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
Well, 2 big alcohol companies are talking about merging. Paris-based Pernod Ricard, which makes Jameson Irish whiskey and Absolut Vodka, is in negotiations with Louisville-based Brown-Forman, parent company of Jack Daniels. Both companies have confirmed the talks and say they are discussing a pair-up that would be, quote, a merger of equals. The potential merger aims to boost struggling sales amid lower alcohol demand in the U.S. and China. Well, if you're looking for someone to always tell you yes, artificial intelligence chatbots seem to be the way to go. Computer scientists at Stanford University found that AI large language models are overall agreeable when users ask for advice on personal matters. The study's lead author says, quote, by default, AI advice does not tell people that they're wrong, nor give them tough love. Researchers are growing concerned, though, that those models also affirmed users' choices, even when they showed illegal or harmful behavior. Roughly a third of teens in the U.S. have reportedly used AI for serious conversations rather than reaching out to a human. The study's authors are calling for stricter regulations to prevent more, quote, unsafe models from popping up. Their full findings appear in the journal Science.
Taking another live look outside, this time over at Fairhope Pier. You can see a little bit of a breeze with the flag waving. Everybody out and about this Friday enjoying the wonderful sunny weather, but although it will be warm out today, but I did want to give you an update regarding our forecast. We do have a red flag warning now in place going into Saturday. So let's take a look at our graphic right now as we transition into our red flag warning that we will now have in place from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. this Saturday. So as we transition into our graphics, this is what we're now seeing. We had that fire weather watch earlier this morning, and that means that we are probably going to see the potential of a red flag warning into tomorrow. So this is in place 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. for our day on Saturday. I'm going to break down the conditions as to why, but here's this red flag warning for the entirety of the Fox 10 viewing area. Critical fire weather conditions due to strong winds and lower humidity, and the impacts include any fire that develops will catch/spread quickly. And we've already kind of seen that. We had that Gulf State Park fire reignite the other day, and then it was pretty big when it first started. Well, that is a good example of what you could see with conditions like this. So our forecast dew points tomorrow, after that front moves through today, much drier conditions. We're going to be in the 30s and 40s for our dew points, which are extremely dry. Then on top of that, our winds are not going to help us out all that much either. So those winds are going to help it spread easily, and then those dew points being dry, they're not going to help out our vegetation be able to not catch fire quickly. So as you can see, about 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts during the day on our day Saturday. Then as we get into the evening, it's going to be about 15 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts. So that is why we're seeing that red flag warning in place. But going for a day on Friday, it's already quite warm out there. It's going to be the warmest day of the week, with a lot of us already in the mid 70s. We're not even near noon yet. We're going to get into the 80s by the time we get into this afternoon. So as you make your way out the door over the next few hours, make sure you have plenty of ways to stay hydrated, especially if you're working outside or you have to be outside for long periods of hours. But 77 degrees by noon. We're going to be in the 80-degree realm by 3 o'clock. A southerly wind bringing a little bit of that humidity, but that will change later on this afternoon. But our forecast highs today, we could see an adjustment in some of our highs depending on how fast that front moves through. It's not going to bring us any rain, well, much rain. We do have a 10% chance for some lingering showers, especially into the overnight hours, but it's not going to do much for our drought-like conditions. So here's a look at our Mississippi counties: 78 for a high in Pascagoula, 84 in Hurley, and 85 over in Leakesville. Moving into our more inland areas, we're going to have a high of 85 in Chatham, 84 in Coffeyville, 83 in Thomasville, 84 in Beatrice, 85 in Evergreen, and 85 over in Brewton. Moving into Mobile in Baldwin County, we're going to have a high of 85 in Mobile, 82 in Dauphin Island, 85 in Mount Vernon, 81 in Robertsdale, and 82 over in Gulf Shores. Then moving into Northwest Florida, we are going to have a high of 83 in Pensacola, 84 in Walnut Hill, 85 in Munson, and 78 over in Navarre. Now right now over in Orange Beach, looking absolutely beautiful out there. The water looks inviting on our Eastern Shore Toyota camera. Over the next 5 hours, temperatures are going to start to go up into the upper 70s, 76 degrees by noon, 77 degrees by 2 o'clock, with mainly sunny skies. And for our beach forecast over the next 3 days, a low risk of rip currents today, a low risk tomorrow, but this could change because we are going to have that wind adjustment. We're going to have gusty winds and also a change in direction. So would not be surprised if this changed to a moderate, and then on Sunday we transition into a high risk of rip currents because of that wind direction change. So UV index, though, if you are heading to the beach or have any outdoor activities, it is going to be very high today as well as tomorrow. And then a high on Sunday. So peak burn time hours is between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Burn time during today and tomorrow is about 20 to 30 minutes, about 30 minutes on Sunday. But transitioning into tonight, so that front moves on through. We're going to get right where we're supposed to be for our lows. You're going to feel a difference, though. We're going to have less humidity, and our temperatures are going to be just about 10 to 12 degrees. And then also on top of it, breezy conditions. So we're not really concerned with fog because of those breezy conditions. Winds out of northwest at 14 miles per hour, but overall we could see some lingering coastal fog into the overnight hours. Now here's a look at your boat show on the bay forecast today. Definitely warm out there. People are already enjoying it, but you're going to see that difference once that front moves through. 75 on Saturday, then 74 on Sunday. Breezy conditions though for our day tomorrow, but you're going to feel the difference with much drier conditions, but overall a beautiful weekend for any outdoor activities.
Yeah, Hannah, and as we are getting ready for the weekend, make sure you download the Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app. There are so many things you can do right here. You can watch Fox 10 News live anywhere, anytime, regardless of where you're coming from. And you can get access to all of our other content like Unwritten Legends, in-depth coverage, Studio 10 segments, and so much more. Hannah, do you kind of want to go through and show us where we can find everything real quick?
Yeah, so it's very well organized. We have different tabs. This one's our weather tab where you can see the weather forecast. This one is for Matt's this morning. Mine will be up there in the next coming few minutes. We also have Next Weather, which is our in-depth weather show that we have where we talk about different topics that we can't talk about on air. Yeah. I just have one for the new products for the National Hurricane Center going into our 2026 hurricane season. They have a new cone coming out and also new storm surge products for Hawaii. So if you're interested in that, you can watch that there. We also have dry weather conditions from Matt. We also have frost forms from Jason. If you're curious about all that, that is how we go in depth. with our weather forecast in terms that a lot of y'all are curious about.
And it truly is, again, just a one-stop shop for all things Fox 10 at any point in time. We have our podcasts on here as well. We have a couple of podcasts here at Fox 10. Sarah's segment In Depth with Sarah Wall every morning at 9 a.m. You can watch that live here. Here are some of her latest headlines that she goes through as well. So truly a little bit of everything. And again, sometimes folks ask, you know, can I get this anywhere? Yes, you can. And it's a really easy download. You can do that right there by downloading it on Roku, your Fire TV, or Apple TV as well. It is just that easy. It is 11:42 right now. Coming up on Fox 10 Midday, Netflix prices are going up again. We have that story for you. Plus, a teen is running for governor in the Greenmount State. We have your Midday Talkers right after this. Welcome back in. It is time for our Midday Talkers today. One 14-year-old's ambition looks a little different than his classmates. And in November, he will be the first candidate under the age of 18 to appear on Vermont's general election ballot.
Interesting. Dean Roy is running for governor in the state, and you may ask yourself, is he even old enough?
Well, Vermont's constitution does not actually have a set minimum age for gubernatorial candidates.
The only requirement is to be a state resident for 4 years.
So the teen created his own third party known as the Freedom and Unity Party, leading the way to securing a spot in the general election come November.
And if he wins, he says he'll consider online classes and do his homework at night after he's done with work.
Wow, this could be a first for the state. Can you imagine being a teenager and having that responsibility? Although it seems like he is very focused and determined.
As I say, he seems very determined. He already has a plan and to finish out his studies, which is very important, obviously. But I will say a lot of young people have great ideas, and maybe it could be beneficial.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll get younger folks in office as well. Yeah, that's super cool. Can't wait to see how that pans out as well. We'll keep you updated there. Well, your Netflix subscription could cost you a little more.
Oh, no. The standard subscription with ads just went up to $8.99 a month, up a whole $1.
Oh, ad-free subscriptions are now $2 more a month to $19.99 and $26.99.
Oh, goodness. The last time the company raised prices was January 2025.
The price hike comes as Netflix invests heavily in its content, including new ventures into the live events space and into video podcasts. Hannah, you were groaning there. Do you have Netflix?
I do, and honestly, I'm getting a little frustrated with how, like, the whole reason everybody went into streaming was because it was so much cheaper than TV.
Right.
Now, if you have all of them, it's almost equivalent to having TV. So it's getting a little, I feel like it's getting a little out of hand. Especially with all these ads now, too. And do we really need to do podcasts?
Yeah, I agree.
Do we really?
She feels very passionately about this one. I remember when Netflix was $5.99 a month or $4.99, and it was such a simple platform. But now, because we have such an onslaught of so many options, now they're all competing against each other and trying to make money.
I guess. We'll see what happens, but I really don't see the point in a streaming service to have podcasts.
Interesting. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out there. A baffling he said, she said moment here.
Between a judge and allegedly driving defendant is going viral, and the whole cringeworthy thing was caught on camera.
All right, Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Watch a judge berate a woman for allegedly driving whilst attending a Zoom court hearing.
You cannot be driving, ma'am.
Despite her insistence, she wasn't.
I'm not driving.
Video from Michigan's 33rd District Court shows the woman log on to the virtual video hearing, which, according to WDIV, was a case involving a claimed debt. The judge immediately halts the proceedings, telling the defendant she can't be driving while on the Zoom call, and that's when the fun begins.
I'm not driving the car, but I will have my driver pull over. But hang on 1 second.
Checks rear view.
Am I crazy, or does it not look like you're driving that car?
I'm not driving the car. I'm a passenger in the car, sir.
Keeps eyes on road.
You know you're lying to me, right?
Then the judge plays his ace.
Let me see the driver.
Oh, it's awkward. It's awkward. It's awkward.
Hang on 1 second.
No.
I have to ask their permission.
And it goes on like that. But eventually the judge has heard enough, and as the woman appears to climb out of the vehicle...
Do you think I'm that stupid?
He renders a default judgment against her, marking her as a no-show and saying she lied to him. The video has since made the rounds online, where social media users did what they do best, levying their own judgments on the surreal situation. And even though the judge was seemingly convinced, I'll reserve my own judgment and instead simply say what my teenage son would say if he saw it. bruh. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Oh my word, this happened last year with another guy too.
Yes.
And he went viral all over social media. You think that people would learn their lesson, but...
I mean, I don't know. I saw her pull into a Chevron and I think she was driving.
It's pretty entertaining. Oh, she had to have been driving. Did you see her eyes on the road?
She couldn't even look.
Definitely not a passenger. Listen, if you're out and about driving safely, we hope you are enjoying this beautiful weather today. Hannah, taking a live look where?
We are taking a live look at Dauphin Island. Beautiful beach weather. You can see a lot of people are out and about enjoying the weather, a little bit of a breeze as well. It is very warm out there, but don't forget your sunscreen. We'll have one more look at your forecast coming up after this break.
Welcome back. Happening right now, car lovers from all over the country are right here on the Gulf Coast this weekend for one of the biggest shows of the year. Orange Beach Invasion is back, and this year marks its 10th anniversary. My friend Stephen Moody has more.
Orange Beach Invasion has become one of the most anticipated car and truck shows in the country, and it's once again back for its 10th year at the Wharf. The event is celebrating 10 years after drawing more than 78,000 people in both 2024 and 2025. And former competitors and their vehicles are back.
I have my 23 Gladiator, Miami Jeep theme going on here. She's full of lights, speakers, very wild and crazy. It's a good show. It actually means something. You have to be approved to get in this show, so it's not just any random thing. It's a higher class. Good people, good location, good vibes. It's fun.
It started with the detailing station where these cars and trucks got nice and clean, but there's so much more happening this weekend, including an after party Saturday night. Then on Sunday, judges will pick the best of the best with awards, and it's all a friendly atmosphere.
Oh, it's definitely full of friends. I mean, people you don't even know you'll be friends with. If anything goes wrong with your vehicle, they'll come help you. You know, I've had batteries die at shows. They're right there to help you out. So everyone helps each other for sure.
And for those competing for the first time, vets have this advice.
We all start from the bottom and just work your way up, and one day it'll just explode. So just keep doing it for fun, though. Don't take it seriously. That's for sure.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
Look at all that fun out there. A great weekend for it as well, Hannah.
It is. The weekend's going to be beautiful. Very warm today, but actually a different setup for this weekend. Taking a look at our boat show on the bay weekend forecast. 85 degrees today with plenty of sunshine. Very humid as well. But a front will move through tonight, bringing maybe a stray shower or two into the overnight hours. Only about a 10% chance there. But really what it does is changes our forecast Saturday and Sunday. About 10 to 12 degrees cooler than what we have been, and much drier conditions as well. So humidity will be down, but breezy conditions as well on Saturday. But let's take a look at our futurecast. So we're mostly clear for the day for our day Friday, but then you see some cloud coverage coming in. That is that front moving on through the Fox 10 viewing area. You see some of those lingering showers. Most of us will be dry. They're going to be very light. We're not really expecting any heavy downpours with this. So unfortunately not helping us out with our drought-like conditions. You can see what it does for a muggy meter. A little humid today, then much drier Saturday as well as Sunday, but we get back to those more muggy categories on Monday as well as Tuesday. Because of those dry conditions, we do have a red flag warning in place for our day on Saturday, meaning because of those extremely dry conditions and also those breezy conditions, fire weather is likely to happen, especially if you have an open flame outside, and it will spread quickly. We've been seeing it with the Gulf State Park with our already dry conditions. It's just going to be even more heightened because of our breezy conditions on our day Saturday. So here's a look at our wind speed and gusts. We're going to have about 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts during the day on Saturday. And then taking a look at our 7-day forecast, much nicer weather this weekend, a little bit more bearable, especially for our Cajun cook-off. But we could see some rain into the middle parts of next week.
All right, looks like a beautiful weekend for sure. Again, Cajun cook-off in downtown Mobile tomorrow. Fox 10, a sponsor again this year. We'll see you from 10 to 2, and we'll see you back for Fox 10 Live starting at 3. Have a wonderful Friday.